In a game where you thought you were going to have an intense back and forth between what some would consider maybe a potential changing of the guard from the man who is Steph Curry, the babyface assassin, the 3 point king, versus his protege, so to speak, one who helped them get a ring, one who actually tried to come into his own before things went left with Draymond. You got what was a lopsided victory. And you know what? I didn't expect anything. I didn't expect anything less as Steph Curry proved again to the world he's the man with a season high 8-3 on the Washington Wizards with a real Jordan Poole putting up a very embarrassing stat line. Now, this was a game in which the Golden State Warriors, in my opinion, kind of needed. You need to beat the teams that you should be beating because they were already in a bad situation. And we've seen what that looks like, especially if you're a Golden State fan. I've made a video that said Golden State's going to get him some help. Like, it's been that bad. But this was a great bounce back game. But you actually got to see a lot more than Steph Curry's 8-3, which again, historic moment, right? Not historic, but you get it. For the season, season high so far. Got to see the other war. Jonathan Kuminga looked probably this is to me his best game simply because of how active he was. Now I know this is the Wizards. I know people are going to sit there and say, "Hey, they're even going to bring up other the tougher team." Jonathan Kuminga actually showed up, but in this one, he looked very convincing. He looked actually against people should look better than just dominant in it. And those are the type of like that's the type of energy and play around stuff. And then on top of that, it didn't end there. Chris Paul and his synergy made with other players on that. How Klay Thompson has actually looked. They actually look better now. Actually started to gel, and they've gotten some nice wins, nice production, all off the backs of a 30 making it happen. But what's happening with the rest of it? Is this something that, if you're a Warriors fan, that you could actually build upon? As I mentioned, yeah. One of the things that you actually see is the one thing that people have been trying to say for this whole time. Steve Kerr needs to play Jonathan. If if this last couple of games have improved, that this one definitely should. He should have had that tick. He was deserving of that tick. He should have been in that starting lineup. He needed the opportunity because he can do it all, and he gave us that. Right? I know this is a Steph Curry video, but realistically, this is a Warriors video. Honest, because at the end of the day, Steph can do a lot, but he can't by himself. Nobody can. Now seeing Jonathan come into his own a little, it makes you wonder why didn't we have this before? Why didn't we? Truth be told, it could be addition by subtraction. The absence of certain players and the opportunity that opens up potential, i.e., Draymond doing the stuff that he. I still have no idea what trying to turn around and clock somebody in the face like that. I have no idea. I hate the path that that's gone down. I am absolutely a big Draymond fan, but I'm not a Draymond. I'm not a fan of that version of Draymond. So hope he gets some. That's opened up room for Jonathan to take. Andrew Wiggins going to bench. That I mean, realistically, they put Jonathan Kuminga in a lineup over him. It's coming to a point where it's like, hey, this trimmed down version of the Warriors has picked up some, seen some things. Ultimately, this may be realistic team that they really need to focus on working out. I was on the fence, so to speak. Chris Paul being there, Clay not being a shell of himself. I didn't see a lot of those happening. It's been one of those rocky things, and I'm not going to sit there and make it. I am the diehard Warrior. I'm a Bulls fan. You all know this. P.kidd lives in the Shy. That's going to be the team who I die realistically. But there's someone who truly appreciates the NBA, Warriors have always been one of those. At least in the last 10 years, that I've had my eye on. Have a true appreciation product that they for. As of late, no one would sit there and say that they had put out a high quality product outside of 30 doing. But lately, the last couple of games they have, they're back at 500. This is something absolutely on. And the one thing I will say is, just don't get Steph having crazy night after crazy. I think it's good that you actually have someone of that ability take over a game to put you over that hump and stuff like that. I don't think it's totally depend on that. You look at players like Joel Embiid. I love the fact that Joel Embiid is historic season by many regards. As far as what he's put, I think he's at 35 points. But I can guarantee you that that's not going to happen. That is the dip off path. So as the Warriors are trying to keep off Steph Curry's career open, win more championships, maximize that, right? The rest of that team, they need to step up and not depend on to be your saving grace every single time. It just doesn't work that way. We've seen players, we LeBron will a team to the final and give his best, but ultimately, at a certain point, even with 50 points, comes up. And so this is one of those things. Steph Curry truly look like he's like in the prime. Like it looks like he's gotten better every year. They've won, leading into that fourth championship since then. But now I would love to see as an organization more assistance. I don't think moves they made were sufficient, and it'd be interesting to see what Jonathan Kuminga turns into. It'd be interesting to see how Klay Thompson's role change. I definitely think Draymond needs to come from Draymond. It's too much of a distraction. Not getting back to winning basketball. I would love to see what this new generation of Warriors can. I do feel like they have enough time or enough ability to make a fighting case for a field. I really do. It's a slither. I mean, come on now. They ain't got a Denver roster, but I do believe that backcourt with Klay, with Steph, they make the right moves for the right piece. Just key pieces. It can still be in keep this opportunity alive, especially if you have Curry doing the way he's doing it. Have a bench unit that really plays like they've been playing the last two games. Now again, it's 80, a whole lot going. A lot may change, stuff like that. But if this is something that can continue, absolutely, them being able to have a fighting chance, tender at, and I would love to see. I think that Steph is already conversation all time. I think nothing changes whether or not he loses. Very few point guards who have done it by themselves, especially when you look at the stature of those. They're not like forwards. They're not like centers. Those people dominate it with their just because of their size and ability. They can dominate the games in ways that smaller guards can't. So I don't like how people compare those, but I really do feel like if they just make good interior change, extend it, Curry and want to see. I want to hear your thoughts though. Curry scorches the Wizards. You kind of expected. I mean, hey, it's good. It's what happens. You got to talk about it. It's. I don't want to make it seem as if it's trivial because Jesus. I mean, like he scorched them for real. But this is them right direction. If you're a Warriors fan, I want to hear some of the things that you have to say. Would you trade Draymond? What should you do? How do you nice little run going? How do you keep yourself take the most time that Steph has left in prime? And again, his prime could be way longer than normal. He's a shooter, um, greatest shooter we've ever seen. We're in uncharted territory, but we also know he's also getting older. So the drive and how he runs like that, I'm not saying that it will taper off anytime, but you never know. You're more closer to it doing that than not. What moves? What? Let me know in the chat. Will it's love? Will it say? I'll be in there. Peace.